Achieving financial success takes dedication, discipline, and most importantly, a plan. For over 30 years, Don Reynolds has helped savers define their needs, formulate their plans, and achieve their goals. From accumulation to preservation and protection, and through the income distribution phase in retirement, implementing the right strategies makes all the difference. Your retirement is our business. Welcome to Strategic Asset Preservation.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome again to another episode of Reynolds Wrap. I'm Don Reynolds, of course, and Corey Stilp.
Corey Stilp here.
So today we're going to talk about, and it's kind of a theme we talk about a lot. It's about income in retirement.
Yep.
And so there's really three sources of income. We have what we call earned income, and then we have, I guess, passive income would be another way. You know, that could be like pensions, and then of course our dividends, interest, those types of incomes. And so, you know, when you're working, you got earned income, and obviously that's how we build our retirement incomes.
Yep.
By saving. You might be one of the exceptions and have a pension. Again, those are kind of the exceptions today, not really the rule anymore. So talk about earned income first. You know, that's what, you know, we get up, we go to work, we put in our 40 hours, and, you know, that's a pay for time, so to speak.
Yep.
We have to put in the time to get the money.
Yep.
And so, in fact, I was reading one of the studies that said about 88% of the people, really, you know, put in their time, but they're not happy about what they're doing, which is kind of unfortunate. And so I don't necessarily think when they do that, they're probably not being as proactive in doing their job because they're not happy doing it, which is kind of unfortunate. So the employer's maybe not getting 100% of value, but here nor there, you know, we all have to do what we have to do so we can have a retirement.
You know, piggyback on the earned income too, you know, as you fast forward here to looking at that retirement phase is we seem to forget, it seems like when we get into retirement, that you've got your gross pay and you got your net pay. And I know part of income will talk about one of the bills ahead, maybe in budgeting, is taxes. And it's important to understand that that doesn't change, folks, when you get into retirement, whether it be a pension or taking income off of assets, we'll talk about in a minute. But you're going to have your gross pay and then you're going to have your net pay. And it's important to make sure your net pay meets what you need to for your debts, obligations, bills, desires, hopes, and dreams in retirement. That's an important step. And last thing with earning income is as we're working, we usually get raises. We hope to, right? Or we might look for a different employment somewhere else. Maybe we're not unhappy, but maybe our earned income is falling behind because of inflation. So that rising income that you need and those costs of inflation adjustments to your income, you also need that in retirement. Very important concepts to make sure you understand.
Yeah. And, you know, when you think about incomes and retirement, obviously Social Security is a big piece of that.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at historicals, Social Security hasn't come close to keeping up with inflation.
Yeah.
You know, you do get some raises there, but it still doesn't keep up. So you really got to make sure you're focusing on something that's going to have what I call rising or increasing income potential.
Yeah.
You know, most pensions don't go up. You know, they're basically dormant or stagnant. They, you know, they stay the same. So, you know, if you have a pension 10 years later, your pension might be as much as 40% behind purchasing power from what it was 10 years earlier. So you really need to look at all these things.
Very important.
And I think it all stems from budget. I know that most folks who work with us, they know that that's where everything stems from. We won't even put together you know, if you will, a plan for anybody until they give us their budget, because it's all based on how much money you need to spend in retirement. So, you know, when we talk about incomes, we talked about earned. Of course, you got pensions, the passive income. So that could be like dividends, interest income. You know, maybe you've got the income from rental properties, things of that. So that's not the earned income, that's the passive income. And of course, you need to have that as well. And then the final piece of income is what we call your IRAs or your 401ks. I mean, that's where you're going to drive income from in retirement.
Yep.
And so we talk about pensionizing an IRA. A lot of people haven't heard that, but we're basically taking dollars and creating a pension from those IRA dollars.
Yeah.
And we think that's a big mistake a lot of people make and we've seen that. I go back to 2008, how many people didn't change their philosophy or mentality, and they just left all the money in the 401k, figure it'll be just fine. It worked great while I was working. Well, the piece you're missing is you're not dollar cost averaging. You're taking money out. You're not putting money in.
Yeah.
So you really need to focus on that.
Yeah. And I always challenge people at our workshops or seminars and talking with our clients and whatnot. I'll throw it out to the listeners today. When I say the acronym ROI, what comes to mind? What do you think of immediately? And I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 people think a return on investment when I say ROI. And that's, again, what we were conditioned to learn and to study and to really watch as we were growing up in dollar cost averaging. When you hit that distribution phase and you're into retirement, I'll challenge our listeners that ROI should really stand for reliability of income. And that's really why we save, folks. And that's really why we work and dollar cost average into our 401ks or our Roth IRAs or whatever the means are that you're saving for your retirement, or we pay attention to our, pensions if you're going to have one, or our Social Security benefit, is again, because we need that income. When you stop working, you have to have income from somewhere. And if your investments are going to provide a majority of that income, it should really be reliability of income, not return on investment anymore. Not that we don't want to still grow it, and we will. We've got to make sure that income is reliable and not affected by the market. That's really the key there. And again, as you've heard us talk about many times before, saran wrap all of this into taxes. Because when Don talks about that passive income, that's, again, back to our 3-bucket philosophy that I know we've talked about. A lot of times we see folks paying taxes on passive income that they may not be putting into their pocket and spending. So if you've got $10,000 coming in from dividends and interest, and you're just reinvesting that, you're not putting it into your bank account and spending it on food or grandkids or travel, how would it feel like to pay $3,000 of that into taxes and not even know why I'm paying $3,000 or $4,000 in taxes?
Also, how it affects Social Security.
How it affects Social Security taxes. So, how did that feel? And just understand what's causing that. And when you really start to understand what's causing that, there are strategies and ways to implement changing that for yourselves and keeping those dollars in your household rather than losing them in taxes and just not understanding what's going on.
Yeah, we always say the IRS loves you.
Yeah.
Because they like your dividend money. So.
Again, it's knowledge. I love when Don always says knowledge is power, and the more you know, the further you go. And again, not always financially, just in all areas of life. So if we can help with this further, and you have questions for us, and you want to see some strategies, or you want to see if your passive income is being taxable when you don't understand why, please give us a call. We'd be honored to sit down with you and help with you. No cost, no obligation meeting. Give us a call, 651-773-3859. Again, 651-773-3859. We'd love to go through your personal situation for you and make sure you understand your source of income in retirement, and again, wrap that in taxes for you.
Right. With that, we want to thank you all for listening, and hope you're enjoying the podcast, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Have a great day.
Take care now.
Listen to more with Don Reynolds and Corey Stilp on the Strategic Asset Preservation Podcast by visiting 800preserve.com.
The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.
Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.
Advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.